It's me, good looking Lee. This is the Thank Me Later podcast. To my right, introduce yourself.
Hey, y'all know it's Noel K.
You weak. You messed up, huh? Yo, what's up with you? How you doing? I'm Childish. What's up with you? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, okay. I was about to say, ain't you supposed to end that with a question?
That's crazy. I couldn't just ask
I was trying to help you. I was leading you to the question. No
That's
worries.
how it always starts.
It's okay.
Every show.
It's okay.
It just starts this way. It's cool.
Okay. Go ahead. Ask me again.
How are you, Lee?
Amazing. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe you asked me.
I'm so glad you're good today.
No problem. Shout out to Fifth Element
What made
Gems.
it so good?
What, the day?
Mm-hmm. Your good mood.
Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who really knows? Could be the fact that I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Definitely just the day, you know? I'm just happy to be here. We got a guest in the building. Before you introduce yourself, can you do me a favor? Put your phone in your other hand and take this off, please. Okay. Just so when it hit the table, we don't hear it. Okay. But as soon as you do that, please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Phoenixx. Some people call me Phoenixx Rocks. I do a lot of different things, and we hopefully get into all of those things tonight.
Yes, we will.
Nice.
Right?
Got a nice introduction.
Nice
voice.
introduction. Okay.
Yeah.
Could tell a few things. Hey.
I wanted to get into that too. I wanted to ask you, like, when people say, "Hey, what do you do?" What do you say?
I say
do mad shit.
At this point, I say entertainer.
Okay.
I just say entertainer.
Okay.
And then it just kind of depends on what you're interested in for me. Because everybody's going to vibe to something different. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to, like, force people to take it all in, I just ask you to take in what parts you like.
That's
and
a
we
little
rock
crazy.
with the parts you like.
Right.
That's a little crazy. That's a little crazy.
It's kind of like how you keep your bags, though. It's like, you know, I'm an artist, I'm a host, I'm a philanthropist, I'm a media personality. You may like me as an actor. You may not necessarily vibe with my music, but does that mean that we can't get it back together? No. You know, one thing may persuade you into getting into the other things about me at the same token. And you may be slow to like one thing and then quick to like another thing. So it's like either way, you're going to pay me.
Wow. I never thought about it like that. That's dope.
They tell you to have multiple streams of income. Do you feel like you've completely filled that circle, or is like always something new for you to look forward to?
Yes and no. It wasn't really even intentional. Like, I suffered stage fright. I was a songwriter for over 10 years. I decided to become an artist after a certain point because I just got tired of the politics of songwriting, because a lot of people who were putting songwriters on were also managing them. So it became a lot of political stuff going on behind the scenes more than it was just about artists selling their records to other artists. So I'm like, well, if I'm a bank on getting this music to these other artists and take that risk, that's the same risk as me being an independent artist and getting you to appreciate my music on its own. But I didn't really I wasn't thirsty to be an artist. Like, I was okay with being a songwriter. I like artist development. I like putting in the work to cultivate an artist as well. I appreciate that as well. So hosting was really just to get over stage fright. It wasn't even, and then people actually, like, after shows would be like, yo, you're a dope host. And I'd be looking like, okay. They had no idea I was just doing that to get comfortable on stage.
Wow.
That is dope. I never heard a story like that. That's so interesting.
Yeah. When did you get into just being creative at all?
Oh, well, I mean, everybody, most of us is like African Americans have like I grew up in church kind of story. But for me, I grew up in Catholic church, so there's like
me too.
There's a different element
of
culturally, even as a black person. But I went to a black Catholic church, and we had like drums, and we sang like, you know, other denomination gospel. So I was still influenced by the outside world, but I still had communion every Sunday.
Yep.
I still knew all my prayers. I still knew the Hail Mary. I still know how to, you know, do the rosary. And so, like, even singing classical music, a part of that is a part of Catholicism and that culture. And then coming into, like, Kojic churches when I got older and, like, experiencing the black experience of church, having all those different influences, I think it makes us very unique as musicians.
Very.
Because we have a certain approach to music that other people may not even hear, because we have, like, you know, the more docile music from Catholic church, and then you have the black experiences, which is aggressive and soulful.
Right.
So when you kind of mix those worlds, you mix those worlds together, you make some very interesting music.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't even sing in church. I couldn't even sing in church.
That was different, though. They told you had to be a certain age. My church, you could sing.
It's very ordered, like orderly, and a lot of structure in that. So I guess the responsibility, too.
Can you do me a favor? Can you pass me them 2 cups of water, please?
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Both yours?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. You want a water?
Nah, I got my coffee. I'm good. Thank you very much for asking.
No, I needed 2 cups of water. I'm very blessed. Shout
Very
out to Fifth
thirsty.
Element Gems.
Shout out to them though. Their gems are
Stay
amazing.
thirsty, my friends. So when you figured out, okay, cool, I want to create, right? Because you know how you just said, well, multiple streams of income is encouraged, but it's not encouraged to focus on multiple things at the same time. So it's like, it's weird to me. It's always been weird to me because it's like, I need to get another stream of money, but you're telling me to just stay in one lane.
Focus on one thing at a time.
When did you know, like, all right, cool, even though this is what's pushed, it's not for me? Because, like, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm realizing, like, I always knew, but now I'm starting to just kind of be like, I don't even care what y'all pushing. But it took a while. When did you realize, like, yo, nah, I have to push multiple things? Like, I'm not hearing what y'all saying about focusing on one thing.
When I realized, to be honest, that music started to become more of a popularity contest than it was about talent. Because coming up as a songwriter, like, I was taught to make timeless records. Even as far as my work ethic, like, I can work with an artist who's a beginner and I can work with an advanced artist and I treat their projects the same. Most of my peers and colleagues that are songwriters will give a new artist an old song out their dusty Gmail and refresh it like it's a new idea and gas you and make you pay the same fee that they charging more established artists who have clout, who they're actually going to go in and do a fresh song with.
Right.
And have you gas, right? And then, let's say you have that negative experience and then you meet me. I come and I charge you a smaller fee, but you already turned off by that. So now you miss out on a hungry songwriter like me who was actually going to give you an incredible record for a lot cheaper because you chasing the clout and you want to just work with these established writers or writers who you feel are more relevant when they don't really care about your project. So even with work ethic, like, everybody's not going to go hard for you the same way just because they're established or just because you think they've placed records ahead of you or before you, because their idea of your record versus a Rihanna record are 2 different approaches. Like, you're not Rihanna. You feel me? So, like, they could be giving you an old song they wrote 10 years ago and, you know what I'm saying, you think that it's lit because it's this songwriter. They don't care about you. You know what I mean? And then you meet somebody else who you think is less credible. Like, for me, like, I have a very extensive resume that I don't talk about. So I just watched
you out and I was like, yo, she's mad cool to be so into this shit.
Right, because I want to see how people treat me as a human being first.
Fact. Yeah, that's what
versus what they
most.
think that I've accomplished or what they think that I've done or what they think that I can do for them. So, a lot of things I will stay in conversation and passing, but I'm not going to come to you and walk up to you with my resume. Oh, I did this and I was nominated for that. And in 2000, and I don't even like people like that. So
you're not nervous though? You don't think when you're honest about the industry you're in and you say, well, hey, not everybody's caring about your projects, you don't think that there's a chance that they could be like, nah, we about to lock her out?
Well, I mean, I've always been an outcast. I have a tattoo on me underneath this sleeve that's a black sheep. Like, I definitely,
I peeped, that's your signature.
Yeah, I own that. I'm not looking for it in. I don't want to be in. I want to create my own destiny. I'm a descendant of a Garveyite. I don't know if you know anything about Marcus Garvey. Yeah. So I just feel like it's in my DNA to just not care about being accepted and to create my own and manifest my own business. I'm in a situation right now currently, and I'm gonna get into it without getting into it because one thing I don't ever want to be is messy, but one thing I will always be is honest. And there's a thin line between those two with people when you get too vocal about things. So I've learned to approach things with tactfulness, but I will never deny the truth in me because I feel like that's what causes illness and sickness and stress and grief and emotional disorders is because we don't feel like we're in safe environments where we can express how we really feel. And then eventually it consumes you and you either end up addicted to something, doing something that is self-destructive or sabotaging, or losing your mind, or what people in theory think that is losing your mind, going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, even in this present moment, I feel like I'm in a situation with somebody who's trying to prove that they have seniority. But because I'm just so self-assured with who I am, I will take this loss and then I will double. And my success will be the proof. Like people say, like, can we cuss? Yeah. When people be like, like shit on somebody, like I will shit on you in the classiest way because I'll just succeed. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go above and beyond what you even perceived I could do in the first place. Because that's how I get back at you. You know what I mean?
People be in competition with you and you don't even realize you in competition with yourself. Like, everybody should be in competition with themselves and shouldn't be worrying about getting the upper hand over somebody else or stepping on necks. Like, that method, you hear it a lot. Step on their neck, step on their necks. And it's like, nah, I want to climb and build and reform and grow for myself. So
yeah. Niggas be so busy running, they don't realize they naked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
And she said, and you know what's crazy? Phoenixx said all of this in her song Rise. That's a vibe.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a repeat. That's you could play that over and over again.
I appreciate it.
And I just wanted to ask you, like, well, I mean, I'm hearing it, all that you're saying in the song, but I wanted to ask you, where did that come from? Because we turn a lot of pain into purpose. Mm-hmm. Women like you. I would say women like me and women like Lee.
Yeah.
I'll add her in there because, she be trying to shade me, but I'm going to add her.
I was about to say, I'm not, nah, you going to say my name. I know.
Yeah, so women like, us at the table, turning pain into purpose. Like, what do you think is that moment for you? Because I hear it that there was that time of you turning pain into purpose and knowing, like, this is where you want to be.
Right. Well, I guess just to give all of this time and energy to something, I feel like something should manifest from it. And I think what happens is a lot of times we define success by comparison, and we look at what other people have and we assume if we don't have a picture of what other people have that we're not successful. My success for me is like stability, obviously. Sometimes that's even hard to maintain, but it's really about it's about being purposeful. You know what I mean? Like, if I die, but in my demise or in my death, I don't want to say demise, but in my death, I saved someone's life, then my life was purposeful, and that is success. If something you say leaves an imprint on somebody for them to change their behavior for the better, then that is success. If you go and perform in a room, and I recently where was I at? Because I do a lot, so forgive me. I was at an event, and I was being transparent about stage fright. Somebody had asked me a question around that, and my friend was having a birthday event. I be doing a lot of events, y'all. My friend was having a birthday event, and I got on stage, and they asked me to say like some kind words about him. We were at Jerome. Shout out to T-Rex. And I said, I used to suffer stage fright, and I told my friend I wanted to be a host. And instead of just starting me off with like something small, he had me hosting at BB King's in Times Square. Like, that was my first like real gig as a host, and it was like a residency. So every 2 months, bi-monthly, I was hosting at inside the Lucille Room at BB King. So it's like, just to come out the gate hosting, get a couple of little gigs, and then be in BB King's, it's like, what? And I was so grateful to him for that. But I said, through that, I was able to work through some of my uncomfortability on stage, and it didn't even show to the crowd, but I knew, in my mind, I was working through something. And this girl came up to me after I got off stage and was like, you don't know how your words were so encouraging to me, because I look at you and I think you're such a powerful and a confident woman, and you exude such confidence. I would have never thought that you suffer stage fright. So even in that moment, being at my friend's event, I'm there to support him for his birthday. I'm not even thinking about being purposeful in that moment. I'm just thinking about being supportive. But just me being honest and transparent about my truth is successful to me. Even if one person comes up and goes, you know what, I might try that thing tomorrow. Because if Phoenixx could say she was scared to do something and she's doing it, then I could do it. And that's success to me. It's relative if you make money or not, but that's also what you define it by. And if you define it by money and you don't make that money, then you won't feel successful. And if you measure yourself on material things, then you're probably going to be disappointed for most of your life.
You got a long way to go, an even longer way.
Yeah.
It was a good man, a good vampire by the name of Pharrell Williams. He said that wealth is of, I forgot the damn quote. He said wealth is of the heart and the mind, not of the pocket. It was something like that. I forgot.
In theory, I get it, though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
If she's going where she's going with it.
If you know what I'm saying, then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
yeah,
so
exactly.
Sad. But that is the truth, though. A lot of times we do value the success in the business, especially of entertainment, with like the dollar amount, and you get it confused because you have a whole youth watching you. And I'm not saying you always have to advocate for the youth, but Because, you know, a lot of people your age could come up to you, or people older. Like,
people older than me be
crazy.
hitting me up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I get more of that support, like motherly support on, you know, social media platforms, and like women that want to be like, you know, like, I love you, girl, like a daughter type of thing that they see in me, you know. So you never know who's going to feel what you're giving them, but I do.
And they're vicariously living through you too, because they probably wanted to do some of the things you're doing.
In
they
a
weren't
confident
confident. They weren't confident enough to do it. You know, a lot of our mothers and aunties were very insecure, and you got to remember the era they were coming from. Like, black girl magic didn't exist in their era. It wasn't a dope thing to be a black girl
and owning your business and being a boss. Like, what?
And actually owning the black things about you that people made you feel ashamed for being for so many years. And that programming and having to reprogram your brain to know that those are good things and not things you should be ashamed of. You know?
So can you be dead broke financially and be successful?
No. Well, this is the thing about that. Stability is a reflection of your mentality, but it is not the equivalent of success. Two different things.
Oh shit! Put that in the book. I need to get that on a shirt.
It's two different things. Now, to be
like,
stable.
is that? Do you mean like being broke is a mindset?
Yeah.
Okay.
Being broke and not having, like, even for me, like, I know I have issues with money management. So right now, my goal in the next 5 years is to get out of debt. And I know that it's going to require some sacrifices. So I have to change my mentality. At the same token, I've been on 2 panels. I've been nominated for Afro. I've done a lot of things that people would say are successful. So I don't think it doesn't mean I'm successful. It means that I need to reprogram my mentality so that my lifestyle also reflects a successful person as well.
So let me ask you something,
right?
There
are 2 different things, though. I see
that's
that.
That's a fact. I'm reading Power of Now, and Eckhart Tolle says that, you know, your life situation is not your life. So while your life situation may be very hard, you saying that your life is terrible it's not the same. Like, that's a whole different spell you casting on your life. But what is starting to make me question is, okay, cool, yes, it's a mindset, but what about when you dead broke? Like, what about when you really broke? Like, you got a bill to pay. The bill is $100. You don't have $100. So, is that your mindset?
No, it could be, because at the end of the day, although you don't have it now, if you continue to stay in a negative mind state, you'll never get it.
Right.
Versus if you think positively and you apply yourself, you can make $100. You can earn $100.
That then sets you into time management. Like, I need it right now. What can I do to get out of this hole that's positive to get that $100 that I need?
Exactly.
So,
or even something wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a life
that's
choice.
That's still an option.
Right. It's a consequence it's a consequence to your options, but it is an option. That's the difference between a CEO and a drug dealer. We all have the same choices. That CEO could be the drug dealer, and that drug dealer can be a CEO. Both of their skills are applicable to the job. A boss and somebody who maintains re-ups and goes to get the weight and knows how to get it from one place to another without the cops stopping them, and knows how to handle it. It has a girl to carry it. It has different people in position in line. It's the same thing as a CEO. It's just a mentality that lets me think that this is the only way to do it versus somebody who says I can make it corporate. Same mentality, same success rate. It's
and not always corporate is the right way. So we see that too.
And even those people are corrupt. Those people are corrupt, and they try to clean it under the table and clean it off, but it's still a corrupt way of thinking. It's still greed. They're both in the same mentality. One is most likely for survival, though, and one is for greed. Because that CEO person probably has a 401k. They have certain things set up. A drug dealer doesn't have any of that. There's no insurance under that. That's all illegal. So whatever you gain, and whatever you lose, you lose.
Yep.
So it's the same mentality. It's just one applying it in a way that gives them sustainability versus one that's just up and go. We've all had money and blew it. We've all had money and not managed it as well, or thought about it later and was like, wow, why did I spend that on that? I could have did that with that, or I could have waited to do this, or, you know, the anxiety drives a lot of us, the fear of missing out on something. Oh, I got to get them sneakers right away when you could wait. You know what I'm saying? Specifically Jordans come out every couple of years. So even if you missed it, when it first came out the first time. In about 4 or 5 years, it'll come out again. And probably at that time, had you saved your money, you'd have been financially stable enough to get those and maybe 2 pair. So by the time they came out in the next 5 years, you already had 2 pairs and you didn't even need to buy it. And now you're even more financially stable. It's mentality. It's mentality.
That's crazy. You're talking heavy.
Yeah, a lot of it is just how we think. Like, our thoughts are so powerful, and we don't give them as much credit until things kind of manifest, and we're like, wow. Even fear.
I said that, I felt that, and I brewed it up.
That's a fact. Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah, this one of those conversations. You know how you talk to somebody and you like, yeah, I gotta let that simmer. It's probably something in there for me. It don't hit you immediately. This one of them conversations is like, nah, that's for me. You know what I'm saying? She not.
No, I felt that. Like, literally things that, and it happens, like, sometimes. I'll say sometimes. I won't say often, and I won't say rare. That somebody comes in as a guest, and they sit across the room, and they're like, and I'm like, yo, you speak in my life. I need to listen real quick. Hey, you're giving me something. You're dropping some gems for me to pick up, and you're teaching me. Like, I love being a student, honestly.
You got to remain a student. I think it's important. I'm saying, even as you teach, and I'm a teacher, even as I teach, I remain a student. My students teach me a lot. You know what I'm saying? But let that simmer, though. You know what I'm saying? Be a teacher, but remain a student. Let it simmer. Yo, she be on me. She be in my face like, go ahead, Lee, say something meaningful. I did.
No, I just let you have your moment. You know why? Because you just need it. So I just watch you. You know, I'm your little audience member.
Oh, boy.
Teammate. Hey, cheerleader. I'm cheering you on silently.
But because this is a bonus, we will definitely have to have Phoenixx back for like a full on.
Like a full.
Yeah, but we got because you have a series coming up that I want to talk to you about. I want the inside scoop for real.
Coming up, it's actually already out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. When we was emailing, was it? Oh, yes. I remember that.
See, that's you know, I said that. I'm reading fast. I said that.
Tomorrow's the 5th week. I made it to week 4,
that.
but
yeah, she did said that.
Episode 3, I saw y'all sitting at the table. I said that.
Yeah, and I said, yo,
I said it's out already.
I said, yo, that's a trailer.
She was like, no. You was like, that's another show she's on, and I see that you're on another show. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's more. I was right.
Yes, you right.
I was right.
You was right about this show.
Yeah, I was right about this show.
I'm like, she's on 2 shows. The other one is coming out. All right. I give you that.
The first show I'm on is supposed to come out with a second season, but I don't know what's going on with the editing. I don't know if maybe they decided not to put it out, but I actually came back to 8 at the Table for a second season.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was at the table with Jack Thriller and Mr. Commodore from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lit. I don't know if that's gonna come out, but
I mean,
nice.
I've always wanted to go on the Party and Bullshit show. See what that's about. They be
that's what I was talking about. I'm sitting here like I saw that. I meant
it
to
can
say
happen. Manifested. I manifested that.
I meant to say.
God, I did.
You did?
I swear to God. I bumped into him 3 different times, 3 different locations. One time was at Sirius FM Radio. I was in a band. Happened to bump into him. He was with Tank. Then I popped up at his show. He was doing his show in Harlem at a certain point, and I chilled with some female battle rappers, and they were there. They actually didn't even come that day. I bumped into him.
I think I remember that day too, cause Bonnie Godiva, was she?
Yeah,
she was there.
My girl is Chrissy Yamaguchi.
Oh, okay.
Chrissy Yamaguchi and Bonnie are best friends.
Yeah.
So, I went up there to see him, and they wasn't even there. But I was like, yo, what up? And he showed me love every time, always cool. 3rd time was at 8 at the Table. He's best friends with one of the executive producers. So then I see him again. I'm like, okay, now, Jack, come on. You seeing me over and over. And then, like, we got to know each other about after a year, and then I got invited. So it's definitely, you can definitely manifest it. Just shout out to Jack Thriller, showing me love.
Yeah, he's dope. He's funny.
And it made it worth the wait, honestly, too. Like, when you know that you literally just put in the work, you know? Because every time he saw me, I was like a level up from the last time. Like, every 6 months, like, yo, I seen you at da-da-da-da. Yo, I seen you da-da. I even just saw him recently at Sony Hall. I ended up singing. I did not go there to sing at a Life Jennings concert. And he just happened to be there. He like, yo, you do not stop. I'm like, nah, I'm everywhere, bro.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Did you perform Rise?
No, I actually didn't. What it was like a little audience singing contest.
Oh, okay.
And I went up there and did my thing. My friend sings, the same friend, T-Rex, he sings background for Life Jennings. So I was just pulling up to support my friend and see Life Jennings.
Shout out to Life Jennings.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to that
miss
song
him
he
on the
dropped.
radio.
Yeah, the new project is fire
What
too.
song is it? I think the song's called Slave. Yeah.
He has some fire.
Yeah, he does.
No, I don't like the song.
No, but him saying
I don't like the song, but I respect Life Jennings' discography.
the new project is kind of dope though. He was singing some stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know, people always want to hear the classics, but he did give some teasers of the new stuff, and it was like he's a storyteller. He spits real stuff.
You know what song is playing in my head right now?
Hypothetically,
Nah. SEX.
Yeah, I figured.
I was like either that one. It's one.
But
of
no,
the two.
we definitely do need music that educates you. Like what? He wasn't just trying to say like
that song was
sex.
fire.
He was just trying to say like do it right,
think
protect
before
yourself.
you let it
And
go.
value
your
your
body.
I don't remember none
Value
of
your
the
mind,
words
your
but
spirit,
that.
who you letting inside of you. All of
That's
that.
the only thing I remember. What? Think before
I
you
love
let
conscious
it
music.
go.
I do.
Right.
I really do. That's why Rise gravitated to me so much because I'm like, yo, you really speaking certain things like that all artists go through, especially certain types. I feel like there's always two roads you can go down. You can, be made up, or you can like stay true to yourself and like really push, what you're trying to put out there and being different.
I'm actually multifaceted though. I'm multi-genre, so like don't be surprised if you hear some club stuff too. Like I got some stuff in the holster. I'm waiting because everything has a season. Like Rise was a follow up to a Drake cover that I did to this song called Fear. And Fear actually got me nominated for Afropunk 2018. I got nominated again this year. I got a 17, 18, and 19. In 18 they picked Fear. And
I remember I voted for you for 18.
Yeah, that was Fair. And then
I
I got nominated again this year for another song called Halfway, R&B record. But Rise was really like a follow up to Fear because Fear was like mine, but it wasn't mine because it was already a song with that structure. Rise is a Ninth Wonder beat I just jacked. And I jumped on it, and I was like,
it
yo.
sounded all you. I didn't even peep
because I want him to hear it. Like I'm doing beat jacks, but I'm doing it like out of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you're so fire. I couldn't wait for the opportunity, so I took it. Yeah. And I hope that I killed it enough that you respect
love it.
that I jacked it. And that's really how hard I'm gonna go. Like I'm gonna make sure that it's elite. So when you hear it, you're gonna be like, yo, for her to steal my joint, yo, she wanted me to hear this. Like she wanted me to be pleased with it. And I feel like Ninth will rock with it.
That's dope.
I want to be hopeful and say that he would. But I actually have a mixtape coming out really soon called Soul Food. Okay. So I might re-release Rise like as a part of the mixtape, like a bonus on the mixtape. So if you download the whole thing, then you'll get that song. But my first mixtape was called Gumbo. The second one was called The Stew, and it's a soul food. So it's a whole little theme there. Okay.
Yeah, that's dope. Tell people where they can find you, check you out.
I am on Instagram at Yes That's Phoenix, YESTHATS Phoenix, PHOENIXX, and everything else I'm Phoenix Rocks. I also have a second Instagram page, but if you find that, you find that. I don't really get that one out. That's more for like my media associates and my media friends for us to stay in contact because I want to have like direct relationships with you podcast and you dope people that show everybody love because I eventually want to go into curate events, so I always want to have relationships and keep my press and my radio folks close. Yeah. So that's really a page for y'all. That ain't really for the world. Okay. If you find it, you find it.
That's dope.
But yeah, everything else is Phoenix Rocks. Twitter, I have. Please subscribe to my YouTube, Phoenix Rocks. I got new videos. I have my own acoustic series called the Peculiar Acoustic Series. I actually just released a new one. It's called Frenemies, which is a cover I did to Lucid Dreams. Okay. So I want y'all to check it out. I think you would feel like, since you like Rise, I think you would like Frenemies. Frenemies, yeah, because we all got frenemies. Yeah. And thank you for having me. I appreciate
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
This was amazing. It was beautiful.
We appreciate you for coming, and we appreciate y'all for listening. We out of here.